I am Sheila Petruccelli. I am spiritual director, dreamworker, and I am also the Director of Creative Embodiment at the Haden Institute, which is a job I never could have dreamed. And that I am privileged to work with people in becoming spiritual directors and in becoming dreamworkers to work with their hands. And to take a lot of head knowledge into lowering it in the body and coming out of the hands or the feet or just in that way. So I have a master's in poetry. I love poetry. It's how I navigate. It's my love language, one of my love languages. And somehow all of that adds up to what I do on a daily basis. So that would be my introduction.
Yeah, I'm Alan Proctor. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I'm a spiritual director and a dream worker, Presbyterian minister. I am the director emeritus at the Haden Institute. Recently turned over that job to a great new director, and I just love working with dreams. So I and you know was introduced to group dream work about 30 years ago, and so it's been a growing passion of mine. My most profound hope about folks who take this course is that you're going to deepen your walk with the holy. You're going to deepen that walk with the holy. That is the foundation. That is the true gift of entering into this material. I mean, I think that the side benefit will also be all the benefits that come from dream work, which is, you know, it's it's going to improve your quality of life and your sense of satisfaction with life, and it's going to deepen your understanding of yourself, and you are going to gain and you will gain skills. uh, Dream work is at the Hayden Institute. We combine uh, analytical psychology, the psychology of Carl Jung, with contemplative practices, and I think that's a magic formula. uh, because dream work is psychological, and it's incredible for opening up uh, self-understanding parts of yourself that you normally would not get to. It is shadow work. It goes into the deepest parts, and it shows you those parts of yourself which you are reluctant to look at, like, oh, I don't want to see that. But that's, it's exactly what we need. Those parts that we've lost, that have been cut off, that have been repressed, those are parts of our wholeness. And so dream work does that. And if you really do your own work, you're going to be equipped to help others, to assist others with their dreams. Um, One of our faculty says, the quote is, only you can become yourself, but you cannot become you alone can become yourself, but you cannot become yourself alone. You alone can become yourself, but you cannot become yourself alone. And that's so so this course will introduce you to the process of working with your own dreams and entering a deeper relationship with the holy, with the dream maker, however you define that. But it will also show you what it's like to walk beside someone else, to accompany them in this exploration. And you'll be able to do that more effectively because you've been there yourself. You've been in that place yourself. And so you know what that feels like to enter that dream world of archetypal energies, and to accompany someone else along the way. Okay, Sheila, you need to say that much better than I just did.
Well, one thing I'll say is when someone finds out I work with dreams, I work with my own dreams, I work with clients with dreams, They say, "Oh, can you tell me what this means?" And that's like, "Oh, no, no, sweetheart, I'm sorry, I can't." And what I what I want to say about this course is it's not like you're going to get a book and like this means this, if only. And there are those books out there. And it reduces dreams and dream work to a parlor game. And this is deep symbology. This is personal mythology. This is cosmology. This is theology. This is that direct line to that divinity within and that divinity without. It is a conversation, it is a communication, and that cannot be found in a book. And so to embark on this work is to throw out the book and to read what is coming through in real time. I will just say that that is how deep this work goes for me, in that it is truly, it brings me to tears. It brings me to tears in that intimacy, in that level of, I love you this much. I love you this much. This time we're reversing the telescope to look within and in that magnifying glass way rather than this, this way.
And I think what we're doing in this course, as Sheila says, flipping the telescope, we're inviting you directly into that deeper relationship. Uh, we hope that you're ready to trust that divine voice that's coming from within, that authentic self that is speaking. And if you're ready to develop a deeper relationship with that sacred voice, this is really for you because we're going right to it. Uh, so I would say maybe different from the other. I think there's the potential that we will go deeper than we've been before. So I think more challenging and potentially more transformative. And I'm kind of thrilled about that.
I will say I'm using these terms liberally, but more to feel into, in that I feel like the other two were extroverted in the way that the energy came from the other, where this feels more introverted in the energy comes from the self, in that it is that other end of the telescope. And in that group process, there is an energy that comes that it's just, it forms. Um, but to echo what Alan said, this feels personal, it feels private, it feels um, sacred in that way of that private chapel, that prayer closet, that place that you go alone. And yet you are not alone. We are never alone in this work. To be in consciousness with that relationship, with those missives from the holy, those letters, those poems. Um, if only it was instructions, if only if it was a narrative. It's not, which is why I feel like my background in poetry really helps me, in that this isn't a cookbook, teaspoon of this. This is alchemy. This is alchemy. And to participate in that is to be changed.
In our current culture, that there's a strong temptation for all of us to, in a negative way, to do spiritual bypassing, to to reach for the next shiny object, or to always go for the light. What's the light? What's the love? What's that? And we don't do the shadow work. That is part of this wholeness. Uh, there's a quote from Jung where he said, "We do not become enlightened by imagining beings of light, but by making the darkness conscious." So that is one of the real gifts for me of dream work, is it's entering into a conscious relationship with the shadow material that's within each of us. And I just, we're in a very fraught time culturally. We are in scary waters right now, and I think the more of us who can have a conscious relationship with our shadow material, that helps us. That helps the whole culture. That gives some hope in scary times. So.
We live in a culture that wants easy answers and wants to dispel anything that is not mysterious, with truth or not. Um, so to actively court mystery, to actively court not knowing, is absolutely counter to what we are fed every day. And I think that is one of the highest callings of spiritual direction, is to be that in this time.
So, yes, lots of people don't remember their dreams. And sometimes big dreamers will have go for periods of not remembering. And there's nothing wrong with that. The fact is you dream 5 times a night. And the dreams are doing their work physiologically and psychologically and emotionally and spiritually, whether you remember them or not. So thank God for our dreams. And there are simple techniques for mostly about intention. So you can go from never remembering a dream to consistently remembering, usually the dream that you wake up with first thing in the morning. So there are just some simple techniques to practice for that. So maybe this is maybe this part of this purpose of this course is to put you in touch with dreams and remembering those dreams that you are having every night.
And I think that there gets to be posturing and hierarchy around dreams and epic dreamers who, dream just these epics. And you may not dream in that way. And to remember an image, a word, a felt sense, a color, that is the doorway, that is the threshold. And again, to come to that threshold with a wanting is enough. So if it's not for you, that's discernment. And yet, if there's a curiosity, if there's a beckoning, this is not a quantitative therapy, of if you have this many dreams and they're this long and this many minutes. It could be one word, it could be one image. That's enough for a lifetime. My dream from 5 years old, I never wrote it down, I never worked it. It is enough for a lifetime. I never have to have another dream, and it's enough. To risk going into this territory of dreams, um, to risk this relationship with yourself, to risk this new way of being with a directee, again, I think is an invitation I cannot say no to.
I'm I'm actually thrilled to invite you on this, and because I feel like if you're ready for this work and if you want to do this work, it's going to be amazing. And I want you to be a part of this collective experience that we're going to have. I want you to bring what you have into this experience, and I just think that will make it so much, be better and better. The more of you who are really called to this and you want to do this and you're ready for the depth, that's thrilling. So please, if the holy is niggling you, if you're getting a little nudge, maybe I should do this, please pay attention to that. I hope you'll join us.